Item Number: SCP-7531. Object Class: Keter. Special Containment Procedures: all attempts by the Foundation to contain SCP-7531 have been unsuccessful. Tracking devices placed on SCP-7531 have never lasted more than 6 hours, but it can be tracked via satellites and requires constant monitoring. Any and all ships in the vicinity of SCP-7531 are to be informed to circumvent it immediately. The crews of ships unable to outrun SCP-7531 are to be advised to abandon ship. Description: SCP-7531 is a warship of unknown classification that bears the name Chimera. It is estimated to be between 380 and 400 meters in length and between 50 and 60 meters in width. Its hull resembles that of a World War II-era Japanese battleship, but its superstructures resemble an amalgamation of Japanese, American, British, and German warships, among others. It lacks a visible flag. SCP-7531's armament exceeds that of any known warship. It includes naval weapons from multiple countries dating back as far as the 1930s. Its weaponry includes, but is not limited to, the following. Primary armament: 3 triple 460mm Type 94 guns. 4 triple 16-inch 50 caliber Mark 7 guns. 2 quad BL 14-inch Mark 7 guns. Secondary armament: 4 triple 155mm 60 third-year type guns. 10 twin 5-inch 54 caliber Mark 16 guns. 4 twin 20.3cm SKC-34 guns. 12 single 5-inch 54 caliber Mark 45 guns. 8 twin QF 5.25-inch guns. 4 Mark 46 Mod 2 gun weapon systems. Anti-aircraft armament: 12 triple Type 96 25mm guns. 10 sextuple Bofors 40mm L60 guns. 112 single Oerlikon 20mm cannons. 8 twin phalanx close-in weapon systems. While nations with naval capabilities are aware of incidents involving the hostile nature of SCP-7531, such incidents have been framed as acts of piracy. Incomplete timeline of confirmed encounters. 22 January 1818. The crew of the heavy frigate HMS Trincomalee witnessed a larger and more heavily armed French frigate being attacked by a slightly smaller vessel that has since been classified as SCP-7531. Once the French frigate was crippled, SCP-7531 approached it head-on. The bow of SCP-7531 opened both vertically and horizontally, and it began consuming the French ship. The British sailors reported that SCP-7531 made no attempts to stop the French sailors from abandoning ship or pursue them once they were in the water. Once there was no trace of the French frigate, SCP-7531's damage was inexplicably repaired. It increased slightly in size, and its cannons grew to match those of the French ship. SCP-7531 initially tried to pursue the HMS Trincomalee, only to abandon the chase, presumably upon realizing the Trincomalee was faster. 2 March 1863. After a pursuit that lasted 8 days, SCP-7531 managed to wear down, defeat, and consume a Confederate ironclad warship, after which its hull changed from wood to metal. Some surviving crew members claimed to have sunk 4 identical ships before a 5th sank theirs, while others claimed to have sunk SCP-7531 4 times, only for it to return each time somehow fully repaired. They all noted that each reappearance took longer than the one before it. 12 September 1942. An unarmed passenger ship encountered SCP-7531, which made no attempts to attack or pursue it. One crew member took a picture of SCP-7531 as they passed it. 24 October 1944. The Japanese battleship Musashi was attacked and eventually consumed by SCP-7531. The American and Japanese navies subsequently falsified documents claiming that the battleship was sunk by an American air attack during the Battle of Leyte Gulf. 11 April 1946. The USS Montana was secretly completed and launched with the goal of destroying SCP-7531. The mission was a failure, ultimately resulting in the consumption of the Montana by SCP-7531. Due to the classified nature of the mission, all sailors killed were reported to have died in a training incident. and all official records claim that the USS Montana was never completed. 19 July 1953. At 06:35 hours, a carrier group led by the USS Midway located and attacked SCP-7531, successfully sinking it. At 13:56, the fleet was caught in a storm that worsened engine damage the USS Vallejo had sustained during the battle, causing it to fall behind. At 14:21, the rest of the fleet received an SOS from the Vallejo, claiming they were under attack by SCP-7531. The transmission was cut off before the captain of the Vallejo could relay their coordinates. At 14:23, the captain of the heavy cruiser USS Cambridge announced his intention to return to the Vallejo's last known position. At 14:47, an SOS from the Cambridge was cut off mid-transmission. No trace of either ship or living crew members were ever found, although the bodies of 14 sailors were recovered. 8 July 1960. The British battleship HMS Vanguard was attacked and consumed by SCP-7531. The surviving crew were sworn to secrecy by the British government. Video log transcript. 12 October 2024. Subject: SCP-7531. Team Lead: D-Class Jade McLean. Team Members: Emma Carlson, Miranda Palmer, Michael Hameda, and 20 other D-Class personnel. Begin log. 24 D-Class personnel are airlifted onto SCP-7531. They are wearing lightweight body armor, full-face gas masks, and body cams.
Comm check. Check. Spread out. Place your trackers. Be ready to jump in 10 minutes.
The others start to walk away.
Oh, and if I say abort, drop what you're doing and abort immediately. No questions asked. Got it? You told us that before we left. I know I did. Just making sure nobody forgets. Copy that.
They split up to place tracking devices in various locations. McLean goes to a door and tries to open it, but the handle doesn't turn. Several other personnel have the same problem with other doors. McLean goes to the bridge, successfully opens the door, and goes inside. She finds a locked box on a desk and tries unsuccessfully to find the key, then breaks the lock and removes several pieces of paper.
Command, come in.
What's the situation, McLean?
I'm on the bridge. No sign of any crew, but I found a lockbox with several documents inside. My Spanish is a little rusty, but they look like captain's logs. One of them is in a different language. Maybe Latin or Greek or something. Please advise.
Tag them and bring them back.
Copy that.
McLean puts the papers in a waterproof bag, places her tracking device on a control panel, and leaves the bridge.
Did anyone see that AA gun move?
Negative.
What, him say?
What him say?
Something my dad used to say. Emma, which gun? One of the ones with 6 barrels? I don't know what they're called.
Hameda's body cam shows a Type 96 AA gun move as if scanning the sky for aircraft.
Spoke too soon. I just saw a triple AA gun move. Looks like it's aiming at invisible planes.
Mine just aimed above my head. Maybe it likes you. Save the jokes for the flight back, okay? Aye, aye, Captain.
McLean glares at Palmer from across the deck.
Sorry, copy that.
Carlson's body cam shows the Bofors 40mm AA gun lowering its aim.
Okay, my gun's aiming at me now. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Carlson turns to walk away.
I thought naval guns were specifically designed so that you couldn't aim them at the ship. It was on the deck below me. The only thing behind me was the sky.
Palmer tries unsuccessfully to open another door.
What is with these doors? Just put your tracker on.
Carlson is cut off when another Bofors gun opens fire, killing her.
Fuck. Abort mission.
The 23 remaining D-Class personnel run to the edge of SCP-7531 and jump into the sea. End log. Closing statement. All 25 tracking devices went offline within 6 hours of the mission. No future missions have been planned at this time. Researchers' notes. Dr. Maria Alvarez, 14 October 2024.
Most of the documents recovered from SCP-7531 have been confirmed as dating back to the 19th century, but the last one, the ritual scroll, is much older. The ritual itself is written in Greek, but there's something at the bottom in Latin. My Latin is a little rusty, but I think it's some kind of warning. I'll have to wait until we get the translation back to know for certain.
Documents recovered from SCP-7531.
Captain's log. 25th November 1815. We have taken control of the British vessel HMS Chimera. Her captain was a fool to sail so close to Tortuga, especially in daylight. The ship looks fresh out of port. A fine replacement for our old galleon. The crew insisted we remove the letters HMS from the hull before setting sail, and I was all too happy to oblige. We sailed for Spain in the morning. Captain Hernando Bautista. Captain's log, 2nd December, 1815. We've had our first successful raid with the Chimera. Came across a merchant ship nearly twice our size, yet only armed with 4 cannons. 4! Their crew was much larger than ours, but they were wise enough not to try to engage us hand to hand. The crew are in high spirits. I found a locked box in my new cabin. Inside was a scroll. It's written in Greek, but lucky for me, my bosun hails from Sparta. He tells me that it is a ritual involving Typhon, a monstrous giant serpent from Greek mythology. Apparently, it can bond a human soul with an animate object. Beneath the ritual is something written in another language none of us understand. I'm certain the fact that Typhoon is the father of the Chimera is just a coincidence. My God gave me free will, and there is no fate except the one I make for myself. I do not believe that such a ritual could ever work, but the bosun had insisted and I keep the scroll, if only to ensure no one else gets their hands on it. Captain Hernando Bautista. Captain's log, 20th February 1816. We've had our first real challenge. An English man of war came upon us east of Bermuda. They got close before we could fly an English flag, but apparently the captain was more interested in capturing pirates than killing them. The fool had his Spanish translator demand our surrender, so my first mate, Felipe, stilled for time while the crew loaded the guns. The battle only lasted a few minutes, and the Chimera's hull withstood a broadside that would have destroyed our old galleon. We were able to hit their power keg, and the entire ship went up in flames. 6 British sailors well peered from the water. 5 surrendered peacefully, but the 6th pulled a knife on me. Fortunately, I had my blunderbuss, and now the 6th man has hole in the face and the permanent place at the bottom of the sea. We lack the supplies to make sufficient repairs, so we will return to Bermuda for the time being. But first, we must lay to the rest of the 11 men lost in the battle. My heart breaks for them, but they are in God's hands now. Captain Hernando Bautista. Captain's log, 11th May 1817. On those nights when sleep eludes me, I often go out on the deck and look up at the stars. Tonight was one such night, but after no more than an hour, I felt the air on the back of my neck stand up. I looked over the railing, and under the light of the nearly full moon, I could see what appeared to be a massive serpent. It seemed to go forever in both directions, yet it was clearly moving from the starboard to port. God is clearly testing my faith by showing me a vision of Typhoon. I may not walk the righteous path, but I still have faith in the Lord. Nevertheless, I have decided to leave the Philippines. Captain Hernando Bautista. Captain's log, 3rd June, 1817. We've received words that the British have put a price on our heads. Rather amusingly, the description and drawing they have on me looks nothing like me. Yet it bears a striking resemblance to my bosun, who also find this amusing. Captain Hernando Bautista. Captain's log, 28th June, 1817. I've had the same strange dream on several nights in the past month. I find myself standing on deck, surrounded by nothing but ocean. I hear a voice calling my name, yet I cannot see who is speaking. The ship sinks, and with it, yet I do not drown. I look up, and I see the sunlight fading as I sink deeper. I feel strangely calm. I do not believe that all dreams have meaning, but to say that no dreams do is absurd. I haven't the slightest idea what is this dream could mean, but this must be a reason I keep returning to it. Captain Hernando Bautista. Captain's log, 15 August, 1817. I've discovered that my second mate, a man I've known for nearly 5 years, have been working for the King of Spain the entire time I've known. At least, now I know why he never questioned my orders, even thought I encouraged my officers to do so in private. It pains me to kill a man I've come to call my friend. but I have to make an example of him. Traitors are one thing, but spies are another entirely. He must be shown no mercy. We have 2 spare anchors from a ship we found beaches on a sandbar. Before we reach Spain, I intend to tie Lorenzo to one of them and throw him overboard. I'm a fair man, but I have no sympathy for anyone loyal to the crown. Captain Fernando Bautista, Captain's Log, 17th October 1817. A French pirate by the name of Antoine Galland has approached us and proposed an alliance. He commands a small fleet of 2 corvettes and 3 sloops of war. He speaks of a merchant ship escorted by a third-rate ship of the line. He offers us the merchant ship if we allow him to take the third rate. I am inclined to accept. Captain Hernando Bautista, Captain's Log, 24th October 1817. Our attack on the Merchant convoy was a success. Both ships were captured without having to be sunk. Captain Gallant made use of tactics I've not seen before, capturing the third rate without losing any of his ships. He's taking control of the third rate and giving us free rein of the merchant ship. Soon we will part ways, and may God protect him and his crew. Captain Hernando Bautista, Captain's Log, 6th November 1817. The British are actively hunting us. We recently had to flee a second rate and 2 third rates that caught us by surprise. We sustained minimal damage, but the crew is on edge. My thoughts often return to Ritual of Typhoon. What he claims to do should not be possible. Yet, a part of me wonders what harm might come from attempting it. Would whoever performs it become an abomination? Or is this meant to be a higher plane of existence? Captain Hernando Bautista, Captain's Log, 17th November 1817. Our attempts to return to Spain have been blocked by the British fleet. I should be flattered that they've devoted so much time and resources to hunting us, but the lives of my crew are at stake here. We are able to acquire more supplies from raids, but if we can't put into port soon, I fear our successes might not be enough. It is thought that it was fate that brought me to this ship and had me to find the Ritual of Typhoon. What it claims to do must certainly go against the will of the Lord, but what if I am mistaken? What if all is this doing, and the ritual is my destiny? Captain Hernando Bautista, Captain's Log, 9th December, 1817. We were attacked before dawn by a British first rate, the HMS Victory. All my crew is dead or captured. The British captain, a brute of a man calling himself Thomas Hardy, ordered that I be left to go down with my ship. I intend to invoke the Ritual of Typhoon, which claims my soul will be tethered to my ship unaltered. I do not know if that such a thing is possible, but my crew deserves to be avenged. Perhaps the vision of typhoon I had in the Philippines was not a test from God, but a warning. May he have mercy on me if I am mistaken. Captain Hernando Bautista.
The Ritual of Typhon. Performed correctly, this ritual will bond your soul with any seaworthy vessel. This process cannot be reversed. Redacted. Be warned. This ritual must be performed under a shrinking moon to succeed. Performing it under a waxing moon will turn your soul into an abomination. Researcher's Notes. Dr. Maria Alvarez, 15 October 2024.
There seems to have been a miscommunication between Captain Bautista and his bosun. Bautista's logs refer to a typhon as a monstrous giant serpent, but the myths consistently describe typhon as a monstrous serpentine giant. That's not all. Assuming his logs are dated correctly, Captain Bautista performed the ritual under a waxing moon. Based on the translated scroll and what we know of SCP-7531, it seems that the warning is correct. This, along with the mere presence of the warning, suggests that SCP-7531 is not the first of its kind. I'm ordering that the ritual scroll be secure outside and keep out of sight indefinitely. I'm starting to miss the days when the only supernatural entity I had to worry about was La Llorona.